Welcome to Kung Fu Panda, where noodles meet Kung Fu and a panda becomes legend with snacks. Po, the only dragon warrior who mastered Kung Fu through snacks, snaps, and accidental heroism. Tai Lung, the master of evil, who was so angry about a scroll he couldn't even read. The Chameleon, a copycat villain who'll steal your skills, but she'll never be an original. Oogway, the wise old tortoise who saw greatness in Po while everyone else was eating noodles. Wandering Blade, the rigid knight whose personality is drier than a dragon's breath. Mantis, the tiny warrior with a big personality and the biggest temper in the bunch. Soothsayer, the wise goat, whose great advice was completely wasted on a stubborn peacock. Crane, a polite and sensible bird, always ready to lend a wing to the Furious Five. Bovids, from cryptic prophets to raging bulls, these horned creatures clearly can't pick a lane. Veruca Dumont, the manipulative weasel, who proves that brains are scarier than brawn, especially her brothers. Phantom, the red phoenix master, who still jumps at loud noises and probably butterflies. Song, the tricky snow leopard, acted helpless but was just a master-class manipulator. Colin, the tiny porcupine, is more scared of his own shadow than any actual enemy. Master Chicken calls himself a master, but his best move is still just clucking away. Lyle, the adorable baby panda whose cuteness alone could probably defeat any villain. Master Croc, a Kung Fu master, yet he was surprisingly easy to trap in a pot. Boar, a mountain of muscle, always ready to smash, but never ready to think first. Monkey fights with flips, pranks, and sass. Basically Kung Fu's class clown with commitment issues and bananas. Shifu, the disciplined master, whose patience evaporated the second Po walked into his life. Mr. Ping, the goose who adopted a panda. His secret ingredient is definitely not secret anymore. Shen, the peacock who brought cannons to a Kung Fu fight and still managed to lose. The Furious Five, supposedly elite, yet their most consistent emotion is probably just mild annoyance. Tigress, the perfect student who trained for years, only to be outdone by a clumsy noodle fan. Master Thundering Rhino, all that legendary power yet he couldn't dodge a slow-moving cannonball. Junji, the power-hungry panda, who learned nothing but how to hold a really big grudge. Nuhai, the feisty panda, who's a little too eager for a fight considering her nap schedule. Monkey fights with flips, pranks, and sass. Basically Kung Fu's class clown with commitment issues and bananas. Poe's biological dad, Li Shan, who is the world's worst liar, but a pretty great father. Tai Lung, the master of evil, who was so angry about a scroll he couldn't even read. Kai, the ancient villain, returned after 500 years just to lose to a very fat panda. Mai, the confident ribbon dancer who clearly has a thing for Po and a flair for the dramatic. Zeng, the palace messenger, who worries more about bad news than actual villains. Viper, the non-venomous snake, who is more graceful and deadly than anyone with legs. Temutai, the brute Chidan warrior, who often mistakes strength for actual intelligence or skill. Baby pandas, their cuteness is a weapon, used to distract you before they eat all your food. Rukmini. She's a tough mercenary, but probably charges extra just for smiling. Hundun, the grumpy rhino whose entire life revolves around blaming Po for everything. Kepa, the ancient demon who once ravaged China, was ultimately sealed away by Master Oogway. Dim and Sum, Po's greatest weakness, often disappearing faster than villains in a deleted scene. Bao, the serious young panda who gained blue dragon powers and still probably needs a nap. That's a wrap. Go on, subscribe. Even Po did something productive today. What's your excuse?